All right, guys, so we're in here. We got the winch sitting out here and the mount and everything that comes with the mounting kit. So what we're going to focus on today is just putting the winch on this tractor. We might do a second part video of putting the limb risers and the log arch on. Hunter's my helper again today. Say hi, Hunter. So whenever you buy this kit from us or whoever, or John Deere, you're going to get 3 packages basically. You're going to get the winch, you're going to get this crate. It's going to have this adapter bracket to bolt on your tractor, and it's going to come with most of these yellow pieces you see here. Then there will be another, a little box. It's going to have all your hardware and stuff and your control handle and that kind of stuff in separate. So there's 3 main boxes. You guys may see there's actually a hydraulic pump sitting there too. So this tractor just has a standard pump, hydraulic pump. So what that means, the back of the hydraulic pump is just flat here. You notice this one, we'll pull this cover off later, has a output shaft on it. So that's how they're driving their winch with it. So if you're not sure if your machine has it, you can pull this back plate off, which we've got to do here in a little bit. You can look in there. Or if you have your tractor serial number, you can see if it was built for use with the winch. It will say hydraulic pump for use with winch. Since this tractor does not have that, we've got to put a hydraulic pump on there. That's something that's going to come separate from the kit. So you definitely got to see if you're going to need that or not. So this winch we're putting on is on a 700H. This same kit will fit 700Hs, Js, Ks, and Ls. The kits that I order, I usually order them for like a 700K. The Js and Hs, some of the cover brackets that go around the back of the winch, I'll show you later, will have to be trimmed and modified a little bit, just because they're not, they don't really offer those in a kit form. So you kind of got to, you can buy them separately, cost a lot of money. We find out we can just modify a couple pieces, make them work. Basically it's that closeout panel that goes around the winch right here, but we'll get to that later. So right now you can probably hear that air running. Hopefully it's not making too much noise. We're pulling vacuum out of the tank, sucking the hydraulic oil out because we got to change that pump. So the next thing we'll do, we'll actually pull that Batman plate off the back and the hitch. So that's all got to go bye-bye. We'll probably pop a couple covers off underneath. Hunter and I actually got the holes drilled and the hole cut out for the winch controller up there. I don't know if you guys can see that. We actually already fitted that. So this is a control handle here. We've got to put it all together. This actually goes up underneath there. That's what we cut those holes out for. Then this closeout panel's going on top. We'll show you that later. John Deere doesn't offer any instructions with these kits. I put several on. The first one I done, I actually just got the John Deere parts listing and just looked where stuff goes. None of this stuff comes with part numbers on it, the hardware and that stuff. So we've kind of got our stuff laid out. I know where it goes where. I'll try to walk you guys through. The only kind of weird things, the control handle. I'll try to assemble it. This winch is just a power in and free spool out. I got 2 stickers. There you go. So, and they actually offer a couple different options on these dozers. They have a power out and in, and it has a free spool too. There's a lot more hydraulic hoses and stuff that goes with it. And they also offer a slow speed winch, like for towing operations and stuff like that. So we just order the standard speed winches with free spool out. It's what most of the loggers like. This tractor is going to turn into a forestry tractor, so got a local logger buying it. So what we're going to do, I think, Hunter, if you want to grab the impact in 19mm, we'll get that back plate off. We'll get the hitch off. Since we've got to change that hydraulic pump up, we're actually going to, that seat's on a hinge and a jack, and you can actually lift it up. We're going to get that all raised up out of the way. All right, so we're back up top here. We took the floorboard out. We took the seats, the bolts out of the seat. We had to take the little knee pads off that went on each side and the armrest. And then these John Deere 700s have a little screw jack here. slide the seat up, and then you can actually crank that up with a real long extension. I think it's 17mm socket. So you got access to all this stuff in here. So what we got to do, this is your rear hydraulic pump for your blade and everything. It has no drive-through shaft on it. This is your transmission pumps here. So what we got to do is get that dude all unbolted and then get the new one on over there on the table and get that in there. It's going to be a fun time. Yeah. It's way down in the hole. So we're going to get after this. You guys can tag along. Alright, we got the old hydraulic pump laying up out of the side of the machine. We got the new one here. I wanted to show you real quick in case you guys got to put one of these pumps on. I'm going to go ahead and take this back cover off right now. We've got a vacuum pulling on the transmission tank, because when you pull this pump off, there is an open cavity on the transmission pumps that'll spew out oil. So we've got hose here in our vacuum canister down in our pit, sucking the vacuum on that. I can hear that gurgling, so we don't have oil going everywhere. So we're going to go ahead and pull this back cover off while it's easy to get to. That's where a drive shaft's going to go on for a winch. And then what we're going to do is actually go ahead and get this depth set up. So this plate here goes on one way or another. Which way does that go, Hunter?
That's a good question.
It goes like that, I think.
Yeah, there you go.
Anyway, it goes on there like that. So I need to set a nut up here to get that depth right. It's a lot easier to do it up here on the bench. So after we get that pump in there, we'll slide that on. And this thing actually has a hoop in it to protect the drive shaft, so if the U-joint breaks, it will keep from flopping around tearing up hoses. So we're going to get that on there, then we're going to sling that dude back in there and get her bolted up. Something else you want to do, always put new O-rings on the front of these pumps. There's an O-ring that goes right around here. We'll get that stuck on there. The old one's got one on there, but they're always flat and stuff, so I always like to put a new O-ring on there. We'll put a little bit of grease on there to keep that in case we need to spin it around. We're going to get that one slung in there. Alright, we got the hydraulic pump on there, got the suction hose hooked up and pressure hoses. Hunter's taking the vacuum off the oil tank over there. So, next thing we got to do is put the yoke on the drive shaft up there, and then we'll get that safety hoop and stuff mounted up there. So this yoke's going to have a snap ring. The yoke goes on and a snap ring. Then this collar goes on. It's got a little shoulder on it, goes in. And I believe this is a bolt for it. 19 millimeter goes on there. I usually like to Loctite that too. Seal that up so it don't come loose. Then we'll get our drive shaft installed. Got a drive shaft hoop. Here's the U-bolt for that drive shaft hoop. There's actually a bigger one at the rear we got to put on next. So we'll get that stuff thrown up in there. Alright, the first thing we're going to do is put on the drive shaft hoop holder. We got 3 nuts, you got 15/16 Hunter. Probably need that long extension, that big impact. So, we watched me earlier, already preset the depth on that 3rd nut over there. Get these up in here. Need that yoke and stuff there. Alright, got the snap ring put inside there. It just keeps it from sliding back too far, if you guys can see that. I'm going to slide this up here, like so. Here to go on there. I like to turn them sideways like that. So, make sure this is the right bolt. Yep. You gonna put some Loctite on there, Hunter? Yep. So we got this shouldered washer here, and it goes, the shoulder goes in like that. We got Loctite on there. Okay. There we got a drive shaft. Put it in there. I'll give you these little bolts. I actually got a little dab of Loctite on them already. Alright, then we got this little drive shaft hoop. That's supposed to have some washers on it. I mean, we got 4 washers. Okay, I'll try this again. We got our flat washers on there. Put some on the top. You got a couple nuts. So this is going to protect if that U-joint breaks. It's going to hold this dude so it don't flop around and tear all the lines off the hoses. Here's the theory. There's actually another hoop back here at the back too. We'll get this tightened up and then you can... Alright, we're at the back of the tractor now. You can see where we got the drive shaft and that little U-joint saver in there. So what we did here off the camera while we was getting set up, we actually cleaned all these holes out. You got 4 up here, 4 down here, and then these 4 in the middle, and then the other 4 on the sides. We actually took an old bolt, put a bunch of WD-40 on there, run those through there, got those threads all cleaned up. It's going to make it a lot easier on us here getting this stuff on. So Hunter's got the drive shaft hoop protector. It goes on out here, and we'll get it put on. Hold that. So it goes on just like this out here. You got a bolt. They give you new bolts. These bolts don't have washers on them. Another one. Okay, we'll get those tightened up. Alright, that's all there is to that. So if that dude breaks off, it's going to be flopping around in there and not tearing everything else up. So, what's the next thing, Hunter?
I don't know.
I think what we'll do next is get the control cable rigged up here. We'll get it all put together. Get that cable routed through there. There's also a vent line that's got to go through there too. We'll go ahead and get that in there while it's easy to get right now. And then we'll marry the mounting bracket to the winch. Nope. Alright, got the handle put together. I don't know if you guys can see much of what we were doing there. Like I say, there's no instructions for this thing. It mounts in the tractor like that. So the cable goes on the back side of the brackets, the best way I remember how to do it. So you've got the bigger 3/8 joint that goes on there. And then this just rides in a groove back here, the handle. So then your cable has a 5/16 time joint on it. Goes in there, and there's a typical push-pull cable style clamp. Like I said, it goes on the back side. So the handle's kind of bent out and pushing forward. Hunter's got the he's got the plate that goes up there. We're gonna try to get this thing fished up in there. Are you ready? Where's the hole at? Which way you got the plate? You got the plate the right way?
I think so, yeah.
Let me see. Yep. Okay. There's that. You take that, Hunter? Yep. There's a nut. So last thing we got to do here is put this little sticker on. What did I give you? You got a knob up there too, Hunter? Yeah. I'll cut that sticker for too far through. Trying to screw me, John Deere. Put that knob on there. Okay. Don't mess up now.
Yeah.
Lots of pressure.
I can feel it.
Alright, Hunter's got the knob on there. We got our sticker on there. Free spool, break off, break on, power in. Handle works nice. Nice and free. Like I say, I cut that hole out earlier. Those things are kind of a pain. We had to actually pry the bracket underneath to get it to line up. So, you got a light, Hunter, so they can see in here.
I think it's.
Alright, so this is down in underneath the compartment. You can see the mount up there. Like I told you, the cable goes on the back side. It's a tight fit, so you want to double check and make sure before you go cutting a hole in there that everything works. Now on the later J's, and I do know the K's for sure, and probably the L's, they actually have a place out there for a winch. Not all of them do, some do. I don't know what the difference is. So I already put this yoke on the end of here and a nut. We're going to leave it loose for now because that's going to be our adjustment to get our free spool and brake set right up there. So we're going to take this and feed it down through there and out the back hole. And we actually got to feed a piece of 3/8 line out for a vent. We've got a vent filter here for the winch. We'll put it up in this compartment here. All right, so we got the vent hose run. It's just a 3/8 fuel line. They usually give you the fuel line in the kit. For some reason they didn't. We got a little filter there. All this is just a vent filter. I usually put a little short piece of hose on it. So it's just a vent for the winch. We've got the rest of it stuck out here. I just like to do this. It's easier to get this stuff out here. Now, this is gonna go up to the winch there. It actually hooks up into this little vent right here. It's actually venting out the transmit or the oil pan down there. So we're going to go ahead and fit the cable brackets on here to work this spool in and out. And there's a bracket that goes on here. I like to put all this stuff on now. It's a heck of a lot easier. We still got some tape on there from the factory. It's a lot easier to put this stuff on now. I'll show you how that goes on there here next. All right, we got this bell crank fastened on here. You guys can see that way I've got it mounted. That upper ear needs to go up because you can flip it around the other way. So the cable's going to come in here. Then we'll get this bolted on the winch, and these two links actually go from this to the winch spool. We got need three of those bolts on her. We'll take this over here and bolt it up. I had some plugs in these holes here. I already pulled those out. Get those bolts stuck in there. So this tab up here is going to be a tab for actually the covers that go on later on. That's what you need.
I think I got it.
Got her. Tighten those up. Get them all a little bit more. That's good. So I'm going to get the link bars over here. Got these two link bars, and a couple cotter pins. Get those picked up. And we need this plate here, Hunter, and two more bolts. Those on there. We need a pair of pliers or needle nose or something to get these bent. I'll let you put these on. You're gonna put one of those on there. I got all the. Put a pin down through there. Put another one underneath.
Oh.
And you got a cotter pin. I have to do that side first. It's a lot easier to get. I'll hold those for you.
I'll put it in the other way, maybe.
See if you can bend that down there. Beautiful. That'll work. And I'll swing those around and put the rest of that stuff on.
Get the pin out of your hand.
Oh, you got her.
Got her at least.
So our cable's gonna hook to this. Right now he's got the cable bracket here. If I remember which way this went. I believe it goes like that. Like I say, you can put this stuff on in the tractor, but it's a lot harder to get to. I like to get ahead of the game, make it easier on us. So that cable that's on the back of the tractor is going to come around. It's going to have a clamp. It's going to hold it right here, and then it's going to go right over here into that bell crank here. Now it's going to move that spool and make our winch work. So we got that all done. The next thing to do is to put this mount onto the winch first. Now you can put them on the tractor first, and I did that the very first time, and it is a pain in the butt to get to these bolts here because they actually go through this way. So I find it's easier to go ahead and marry the mount to the winch, and then we can get to these bolts a lot easier to tighten it up on the tractor. So we're going to get this pulled out of the box, get it on there, bolt it up. I think there's 20mm bolts that hold it up. It's a 24mm socket or 15/16. Got a little bit of tape left on here from John Deere. I'll get that off here and get that all cleaned up and get them put together. I just got to go down over here. Oh, that's kind of the wrong way, isn't it? She snug. Alright guys, we've been struggling with this winch. We've got it pulled up here, but you can see down here it's actually tight. But over here in our holes, things aren't lining up. We got a couple bolts in, but I don't know if you guys can see in there. Those holes aren't lining up. What's happening is this winch is sitting too high. It needs to go down. So these little, I think John Deere screwed this here. These little ears are sticking up too high. I don't remember them sticking up that high in the past. I've done probably 12 of these, at least 12, 15, I don't know. For whatever reason, I think they've got these things welded in the wrong spot. And the only thing for us to do is take it apart and fix it, because at this point it's 5 months on these winch parts and winches. It's ridiculous. So we're going to take this thing back apart, and we've got to go down like an 1/8 inch. It's off quite a bit. So for whatever reason, I think they've got those ears mounted in there wrong. So we're going to get this thing took back apart. All right, we got the winch split back apart. These little ears right here sticking up are sticking up about an 1/8 inch too high. For whatever reason, I think John Deere's got these welded in here wrong. I've put probably a dozen of these things on the bed, like I said earlier, and it's holding the winch up. I know the winch ain't made different. That's the same winch they've been making for years and years. So I think somebody's got this welded wrong. It's more the COVID stuff coming back to haunt us. I don't know. I'm about over getting parts that's messed up, and it's just not John Deere. It's everybody that's having issues. And we're not going to wait 5 months for another one of these to get built, because that's ridiculous. So these people need to get back to work and pay attention to what they're doing. Anyway, we're going to get these cut down. Probably just going to take a cut-off wheel and slice them down about 1/8 inch, grind them all off flush, and we'll try to fit it up again. What do you think?
It's not very fun.
Not real fun. Something we shouldn't have to be doing, but here we are wasting. We've wasted over an hour trying to get this thing together. So we're going to get those cut off, get it put back together, and hopefully it fits. All right, I got these pads ground off. You guys can see a little closer down there. Get them all flattened off. You gonna try this again, Hunter? Yeah. All right, let's try it. Go that way a little bit. Straight in. Yep. Oh, let's go down a little bit. Come on down. Down. Going down. Hold up. Let me unhook this one. Now pick it up. Let's see what we got here now. Yeah, we just need to shift it over here. Okay. That's looking better.
That's good.
Huh?
So that's good.
That's good. That's good. Hey, look, that bolt started in. Some more bolts. All right, we got those, what is it, 8 bolts in there?
Yep.
So we got to pick it up and put 2 more bolts up from underneath, off those ears that we showed you. They're ground off, so you guys let me know what you think about this whole situation. I mean, we had to make it work, so it kind of sucks what it is. So you guys leave some comments down below. What do you think about it, Hunter?
I don't know. Didn't go together too easily.
Stuff we shouldn't have to be doing on brand new stuff. That's what's not good. But anyway, we got it to fit right, so maybe John Deere's watching out. I've had issues with other parts in the past, and they put in what they call a case file to John Deere, which I don't know what that does or goes through, so maybe they're gonna watch this video and see this issue here, because I'm tired of telling them about their problems. But anyway, we're gonna get this picked up, put 2 more bolts in the bottom, then we're ready to head to the tractor. All right, we got our 2 bolts on up through underneath. I got our cable and stuff kind of tucked in out of the way. I got our drive shaft sitting about where we need it. Hunter's gonna bring this dude in. You got your side shift centered up, looks good. You have to watch the fuel tank up here with your forks. I'm gonna have to change that setup there. Come on in. All right, we had to rehook our chains a little bit there. Come on in, Hunter. Go up a little bit. Oh. Anyway. Come on in a little. Come on in. A little bit more. Oh. Let's see what we got here. Yeah, there's one. Come on in a little bit, Hunter. All right, you go up a little bit. Whoop. Down a little bit. Okay. All right. Cross your fingers that the rest of them all fit. These all fit. early. So far, so good. All right, we got 2 more that go up under here. You guys can see those. That one started. Wow. Oh, both started, Hunter. The way they should have fit to begin with. All right, we're gonna get those tightened up. We got 8 on each side, 2 underneath. Then we're gonna put the little oil pan cover on underneath there. Then we'll get the cable hooked up. All right, so next thing I like to do, we got the drive shaft sitting in there. You guys can see up there. We're gonna put the caps on and the bolts, get those torqued down, and then we'll put the control cable on there next. I got it sitting right up here, so we'll get it hooked up. I'll show you guys how it hooks up. Then the vent hose is gonna run over to this cap over here. We'll take that off. So you got your cap bolts. He's gonna get the drive shaft bolts put on. All right, so we got the control cable hooked up. We got the cable clamp area. There's a little half notch in there for that to bite on. Got that all nice and level. And we got this clevis pin in here temporary, and this nut's backed off temporary. The reason is we'll probably have to fine tune that. I like to do it down here. It's a lot easier than up there. We'll have to fine tune where the brake and free spool and all that works on there. So you can either adjust it there, or you can adjust it up under there, which that's harder to get to. So I like to do it now. So about the next thing we're going to do is probably stick oil in here. It holds 7 gallons of hydraulic oil. So I usually like to take this plug out here and fill this whole cavity up, then it'll run down below. You got a dipstick here. It checks with the machine running. And after that, we'll get that all oiled up and working. We'll fit the top shield on. We'll probably have to modify, because this is an older tractor. Have to modify one of the K or L brackets. Then there's little closeout panels that go on here. I'll probably leave those off till after we put the log arch on. That's going to be in the second video. So we'll get this plug pulled out, and we'll get 7 gallons of oil put in there, and we'll see if it works. There's something else I just thought of too that I don't have installed in here. They have a centering bracket that goes on in 2 springs. I'll show you over here. So basically, when you're moving that control handle, it's always going to pop back into the neutral position here. So they include that stuff with this kit. It's basically 2 springs here, if I can get them apart, that sit on each side of a bracket here, and that goes on that rod. So basically, whenever you let off that lever, it's going to pop it back into the break off. Well, our local loggers, they don't like that function because, you know, they're a one-man operation. So what they'll do, they'll just put that lever in free spool, hop off the tractor, pull all that cable out, and then get back on the tractor. So when you put this spring set in here, it will not allow that lever to stay in the free spool position. So it takes 2 people, one to hold the lever and one to pull it out. So we'll actually leave that off for them. First one I ever did, I put all that stuff on like it should be, and the guy was complaining. So ever since then, we've left those off. Like I say, if you put that stuff on, it's always going to come back here to the break off position. You can't pull a cable out by hand. If you got 2 people or something like that, I guess it would be all right, but we usually leave that stuff on there. All this setup actually bolts onto this same bracket here. The spring and all that stuff sits in there, but like I say, we always leave those off. So anyway, we got it hooked up, vent line on, and Hunter's gonna fill her up with oil. All right, we got her all filled up with oil. Hunter's gonna start her up, and we're gonna see if it works. You ready? Pull her back and wind it. Look at that. Keep going. Put it in free spool. We've got the free spool now. I should be able to move that. Yep. Got everything adjusted pretty good. Check for some leaks. We'll go go ahead and tighten that down, put the cotter pin in it, go ahead and shut her off. What do you think, Hunter?
Works awesome.
We'll tighten that jam nut up and put that cotter pin on there. We'll double check the oil. You gotta check the oil with them running. So the next thing we'll do is get this top shield put on here. All right, so there's 3 brackets to this top thing, and these are actually probably for a 700K or L model. So they give us 2 sets of lids. Hunter's got that lid there. It's a deep lid, but this bolt pattern spacing is different here. That should match up with that there, yeah. And I don't know who painted this piece at John Deere, but I don't know if you guys can see that in the camera, but that thing is like an orange colored yellow. It doesn't match whatsoever. It's all dirty too, but more Friday parts, right? Or Monday. So these don't quite fit. We're gonna have to trim this top here, and then you can see how wide this back piece is. We'll have to narrow this up here too. We'll have to trim this here across here. Like I say, this is an older H series tractor, and these kits are for like a K and L. That's why we got 2 sets of brackets for those. But it's easier just to cut these and modify and make them fit. And then these little side covers that go on here, I'm gonna leave those off till the next video, as we've got to weld on a couple ears here for the log arch. You ready to get these fit up? Mm-hmm. All right. All right, so I got those cut off and angled. Hunter's getting ready to stick that orange one in there. Pretty nice fit. So we'll just leave those bolts in there loose for now. Now we need that big top plate up here to set it up here. Dipstick hole goes in that side over there, Hunter. There you go. Okay, just set it up here for now. So you guys can see that's way too wide for this little gap. So what we're going to do is get us the measurement here, and we'll get that nice straight line cut off there, and we should be golden. All right, what do you think, Hunter? It's pretty straight.
Yeah.
We'll have to get Kevin to paint that on Monday. So the reason I don't keep, like say these winches fit 4 different models of tractors, from 700H, J, Ks, and Ls. So I kind of just keep the newer Ks and Ls in, and then we can modify the older ones. Because if you go to order one of these, like I've said earlier, it's like a 5-month wait right now. So I try to keep crap in stock, and it's hard to do it for everything. So that's why we have to modify it for these older tractors. Usually we're putting on these on J's and K's and newer. So grab a hold of that. See how good we did here. That goes on the outside. Line it up over there.
Yeah, not quite low enough.
So like I say, this is going to be about the end of this video, and this winch setup will be about the same for any of the hydrostatic tractors, the 450s, 550s, and 650s from 2000 on up to current. So the only thing that's going to be different, the mountain ears are going to be shorter on the 450s to 650s. Control cable and that kind of stuff is going to be the same. The winch is the same. It's a 4000 S. It means that S stands for self-contained. That winch is used on a lot of skidders and stuff too. The basic design, the front of it's a little bit different, but that same winch will fit a 450 to 700 series tractor. It's just the mountain stuff's different for the 450s to 550s. There again, I keep those mountain kits in stock too. I keep them for like the J series tractors, and you'll have to modify the shields and stuff if you get them from us or whatever too. So Hunter's gonna finish getting that bolted up, make sure it fits, and we'll probably pull these 3 pieces off, touch those up with a little paint. The only thing that's left is these 2 side covers. Again, we'll put those on after we install a log arch and stuff. It's sitting over there. That'll be in a second video we'll probably do next week. Hunter's gotta go back to school, isn't that right?
That's right.
So if you guys like this kind of stuff, definitely comment. Let me know down in the descriptions. Let me know what you think about John Deere messing up that mount too. It's always something. Never fails, but I have put probably, like say, over a dozen of these on and never had any issues with them. So And there's always a first for everything, but it doesn't matter what manufacturer it is right now, cars, trucks, whatever. It seems like stuff is screwed up. You can't get it. You're waiting. I mean, I'm planning stuff out months ahead, parts, because I know you can't get it quickly. So you got to think far ahead of what we got going on next. So, and this is the end of the year. December's next week, and people are thrashing to get stuff bought for the end of the year too. So that's why we're in here on Saturday trying to get this done. So if you guys like this stuff, definitely let me know. Give us a thumbs up. It helps out a lot. And stay tuned for the next video. We'll get the cable on, the log arch, and the limb risers on. Tell everybody bye, Hunter.
See ya.
See ya. We'll catch you next time.